The subject you choose to study in school or work on really affects how you see the entire world. It kind of makes up your mental models for understanding more complicated things. And you can kind of see this by talking to different people that are like at a certain level, grad or above maybe, or even undergrad in different disciplines. And they will kind of use analogies from their expertise to talk about the world. It's kind of subtle and it doesn't really come up unless you're talking about specific things. Like it doesn't come up in day-to-day normal conversation that much. But I think it's really interesting. Like what, for understanding complex topics, math and computer science are obviously very useful because they've got such like small granular details and so many like different concepts you can use to explain bigger concepts. Like they're both great at abstraction. They have like lower and lower levels of detail. I would say computer science is like the study of systems and processes, and you get a lot of terminology to talk about that. And math is like a little bit more general and abstract. I guess it depends on the type of math, like more applied math, more towards like the calculus, diffie-q side is different than like number theory or a graph theory or ontology. I don't know. I'm not like high enough level in math to really say yet. But the way your worldview is shaped by this is pretty fascinating, and I think there's an argument to be made for studying like a lot of different fields, at least at some levels, so that you can like construct better models of the world for complicated things. Like studying economics seems like a really solid idea, like economic theory, just because the basic models there will help you understand a lot of stuff. And another field that I think is hated on a lot is classics. The reason I'm so pro classics is because my dad, that's his PhD, and that's just the study of ancient languages, Greek and Latin. And if you think like that's kind of a useless discipline, right? That doesn't really, how would that apply to computer science or math, or you want to get a high-paying tech job naturally? You can see some of the smartest people, like Alan Kay, creator of the internet and the GUI and the mouse and a bunch of other things. And he's famous for reading like, I don't know, 150 books by the age of 6. Or I forget the exact numbers, but wicked smart guy, like hard to even comprehend. And listening to interviews with him, he's always taking a word given by an interviewer, and he's like breaks it down in Latin. And other scholars will do this too. They're like, oh, it comes from this and this and this word root, and you put them together. I actually have a book here of word roots, and the reason that's so powerful is it lets you kind of define words on the fly and understand like just how the definitions form and evolve over time. And defining words on the fly doesn't sound like an amazing ability because it's like, well, you can go use a dictionary, you know, but that's the same argument as, well, why do you ever need to know math when you can just go to Wolfram Alpha? You don't need to understand how to compute, I don't know, some kind of differential equation or something, but it's like, it's the intuition that you build up and the conceptual framework that really matters, and understanding like all the subcomponents of words and how they evolved from Greek and Latin, and then under that Sanskrit, and I don't know, I'm not a classicist, but how that stuff all builds up, really powerful mental model of the world, I think. What's interesting is I went through a phase of being all egalitarian about the different fields, like even communication theory and social work are valid majors, but I think for majors like that are a little softer, a little more, what's the word, like amorphous, I don't know, English or something, they're definitely cool, but I would suspect you have less of kind of a set of like rigidly defined rules. And having a set of rules and objects that have different properties, I think, is very important for building up understanding of more abstract concepts. Because you just want to, I guess I should really give an example of this. You know, I'm just like spouting generalities. But sometimes you just walking along and you see something, you're like, whoa, that's right out of math. How about like, so if you see a bunch of things and they all have one property in common, you would say that's like an equivalence class in math, or they form an equivalence class, because you could have an equivalence relation on them. That this is a very simple example. I don't know. It's hard to think of these on the fly. I really should have researched that, but you can. I don't know. It just helps you pick apart the patterns of the world.